Hi, I'm Brenda Janzen, and I've been a member here at Southminster Presbyterian since, I think, June of 2019. So this year has been so strange, it's hard for me to remember times. But I'm happy to share some thoughts on what I call God moments. I like hearing people's stories of faith and moments of feeling God's presence in a fairly clear way because it feeds my faith. I was in a book group a few years ago where we studied a book called God Winks, or When God Winks, and the subtitle was How the Power of Coincidence Guides You. The author says whether you call it coincidence or synchronicity, these random events are actually guideposts in our life that kind of help us navigate careers, relationships, even daily choices that we make. It was a simple book, but I found that it resonated with how I experience God, which is often in kind of small, mundane, daily experiences, because I find myself saying, that was a God thing, or that was a God moment. Might be something that I heard someone say, it might be in a sermon, it might be something I read, or often it's something I observe, like just out in public. I will actually get goosebumps when I see an act of kindness between strangers, particularly now during COVID, during this pandemic. We're all so fraught with opinions and anxiety and isolation, and so when we see people reaching out, whether it's in a grocery store helping somebody or whatever, I get chills because to me it's grace personified in human frailty, often outside of people's ego. So those are moments that I experienced God. I haven't for a while had a profound personal experience of God talking to me. I have had something like that in the past. But I mostly am touched by these little daily encounters with friends of mine or strangers. Annie Lamott, who is a writer and spiritual guide that many of you probably are familiar with, who had a very rough history of addiction, and very intelligent woman, very smart, but she's written a lot of books. And a friend gave me Traveling Mercies over 20 years ago, and it spoke to me so much that I was just hooked by her very earthy, honest, sincere dependence on Jesus. And one of her simpler, very small books is called Help, Thanks, Wow. She wrote that in 2012. And she summarizes everything she knows about prayer in those three categories. So help, obviously, is when we're seeking assistance from God. And sometimes I have no idea how to pray about one of my kids or something in my family or whatever. I just feel like, yeah, I could figure out what they need to do, but I don't know how to pray. And it prompted me just a little bit ago to the verse in Romans 8:26. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know how to pray as we ought, but that very Spirit intercedes with sighs too deep for words. And that's what I like about the prayer help. And sometimes when I've gone on a long walk, I've just said help. And then her other two prayers, one is thanks, which is appreciation for anything that is good in our life. And that's usually one of the easier things for us to pray, because we might be moved to gratitude for something that we realize is good. And the last one is wow, which is when we feel awe for things in our world, like a beautiful sunset, or some of the experiences I just mentioned about seeing somebody show love or caring or compassion to someone. Of course, even when times are hard, like right now, I think this is just a hard time for most of us, we can find moments of gratitude and moments of wow, which I have tried to do in my dark days, because I have them, of feeling like I don't know what the future is. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm taking care of my mother. I don't know what all that's going to involve. But it's not too hard to move to prayers of help, thanks, and wow. So I hope that can be of help to you.